Another thing that I'm doing is working on my daughter's Jeep, because that's kind of what triggered the repair on this, is that I had to tow her Jeep home, and I had to put it on the trailer. And I realized that the trailer was just going to not be worth much for hauling anything if I didn't do something quickly. Pulled her Jeep home, wondering what the problem was with the transmission. I'll try to show you what that is. All right, so I'm up under the Jeep right now, and the issue, let's see if I can point to this and get you to see it. The issue is right there. You see the shifter mechanism, which is right there, and then there's a boss right there that comes out the top of the transmission, and it looks like whatever's going on, the oil is just pouring out of that. Seems to me like there must be something, a plug or something that went in there. I'm not familiar with this transmission, so I don't know for sure. I got to dig around and see what I can find and look online and also check this out more closely. I got my bore scope. I'm going to take a look at that and see what that looks like. I think it's threaded. Not sure. We're going to find out here in a minute. Well, I looked at the Jeep. Doesn't appear that boss is threaded. Not sure what it is. I've looked at some parts diagrams online, and not having any experience with this Jeep, I don't really know. So that's the mystery for today. But right now I'm going to go work out, because working out's important. Keeps me sane, and it keeps me flexible. I gotta stay after it. If I don't work out, I become a slug, and I don't want to be a slug. So let's go work out, then we'll come back and tackle this and see what we got. Hey, Doc. Hey, Doc here, back at it again with another one. See if you can post where that came from down below. Let me know which channel that's a part of. Got my daughter's Jeep up here on the lift today. I'm going to change the transmission filter, you know, the fluid that's in the pan. I think I got the leak fixed. Let me show you what I came up with. We'll see how well it holds up. It's temporary unless it works. All right, let's see. Well, if you can see it if you can see it right there in the center of the screen, that screw with the nut on it is in the hole that was leaking transmission fluid. Now, I'll explain to you kind of how I did it, and kind of let you see how that works. But so far, it looks like it's doing pretty well. We're going to try it out and just make sure. Okay, so this is a stove bolt. And the stove bolt is it's widely used for a lot of different things besides stoves, I guess. At any rate, this one, believe it or not, was just a little bit too big for the opening in the transmission orifice. So what I did is I just used a grinder, sander really, to just pull some material off the outside edge. So I just sanded the outside edge, spun it around, kept it as round as I could, sanded it all off. Then I took a piece of 1/4-inch hose and I put the stove bolt through it. I had to do that in order to get the stove bolt down into the orifice. Did that, put that down in there, put a flat washer on top that was bigger than the orifice, put a nut on top, a lock nut, and tightened that puppy down so that it expanded the hose. It's the same concept as a freeze plug, a temporary freeze plug for an automobile. You know, the expansion plug in the block is brass or whatever, but if sometimes steel, and if they rust out and you want to replace that temporarily without having to yank the engine, you can't get to it, you'll put a derivative of this in there. So you'll put in a much bigger orifice and bigger piece of rubber. But they don't make anything like that I could find that was for a 1/2-inch orifice, and a 1/2-inch hose wouldn't fit. 1/4-inch inside worked fine. So that's what I did. You can see that this is roughly the same diameter as the stove bolt. Stove bolt some material had to be removed to get it to work. At any rate, that's what I put in there. I tightened it down. So far, it seems to be doing well. We're going to find out. Like I said, it's temporary unless it works, and then it's permanent, obviously. So I'm leery because the OEM component is a little metal plug that is supposed to be driven in there. I don't know. I'm not terribly enamored with the thought of that staying. There's some sort of a I don't know if it's Loctite or what. There's a green coating on the original, and the original only costs about $5. But I don't want my daughter to be driving down the road and have the plug blow out again. Whatever was in there this time blew out.
And I did find that the Mopar part number is 4567312. It's a transmission port plug. So this is what it's supposed to be.
Leaked fluid everywhere, and then there are, and I'll have to show you on the video, there are threads in that orifice, but the threads aren't, they do not have enough meat left in them to hold anything. I don't know if there was a bolt in there or a screw in there or whatever it was that ended up, I guess it would have been a screw technically. Whatever it was, it ended up ejecting out of there. It might have yanked some threads out. I don't know what it was. There doesn't seem to be a lot of pressure on that port.
Here's a quick image of the actual hole, the port in the top of the transmission. You can see that there looks like someone's attempted to screw something in there, but there really are no threads in that port. So it's supposed to be a pressure fit cap, and that wasn't good enough for me.
Whatever it was, I don't want it to do it again. So I put that in. I showed you how it worked. I'm going to find out how it works. I don't know. It's a very cheap fix, and I feel better about that than I do about hammering a tiny metal cap in there. A metal cap that I really don't have any comfort with, or any real feeling that it's going to hold up very long. So we'll see. Now I have to drop the transmission pan and change the transmission fluid rather than refill it. It's got a little bit of a leak on the pan anyway. I don't know how long it's been since it's been changed. I was going to do this anyway. Now I do it today, and she's leery of it. She wants me to drive it a while to make sure that it's going to hold up. So I'm going to do that for her, and we'll see what we got. 18 millimeter bolt. I'm going to pull this skid plate off. I think that's all I need. Pull this off, I can get to that pan. Don't like to use an impact on a regular socket, and I don't have an 18 millimeter impact. Let's see if this will come loose. I don't know. Not easily. Not easily. I think I need to get a longer handle. I've got one. I need more torquerage or more lever, one or the other. More torquerage or more lever. Make sure I get the right bolt. There we go. My ratchet on there. I'll be fine as wine. There we go. I tell you, I love this Icon breaker bar. Nice. Well, I guess it's going to work. That should be okay now that it's broken. See if I can use the impact now. Hold your ears. Loud noises. Did you catch that I tried to do that without loud noises, without the battery? Boom. What happened? Well, whatever's happening, it ain't liking something. I don't know what it is. Oh no. Is that thing? Oh no. think the captive nut must have broken loose in there. That is beautiful. I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's great. I love it. Now what? That's great. Always love things like that. Ow. Hit my head. Yeah, I don't know. If I pull that one loose, and this is part of it going to drop, I may be able to just rotate it around. I don't think I'll ever get it tight again. There's no way to reach in there. There's just no way to get it. Huh. That's really good. That's really good. Oh. Every time you start something and you think this shouldn't be terrible, you are making a big mistake. Because in most cases, something terrible is going to happen. And then you don't know what to do. Like in this case, I really don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about that. It isn't going to be pretty. And I lost that bolt. Okay, great. Many, many times. Rocks in there or something. Well, I'm not going to get that. Oh my goodness, what a mess. Do you empathize yet? Are you feeling for me yet? There's a hair on that. Where did that come from? It wasn't my hair because it's long, and I don't have long hair. That's not coming out at all. Well, I know how the captive nuts work, but it doesn't matter if they don't work. What's next? Anybody have any ideas? Put your ideas down in the comments below. What should a person do? Well, nothing that a reciprocating saw won't fix. An old sawzall, I guess. This is not really a sawzall, that's a brand name. I think this is a skill. It's about 100 years old, maybe 150, I don't know. Let's see if we can get this finished up here. I may need a new blade. This blade doesn't look too good. Let's see. Forget what I said. Didn't need a new blade. Not at all. Whew. Woo, boy, do I look like it's warm? It's probably 90 in here. I got the Jeep apart. Sawed off the one bolt on the skid plate. As it turns out, I was 100% correct that that captive nut was totally loose. I cut that bolt off that and the captive nut just flipped right out. So we don't have a captive nut there at all. That's going to complicate putting things back together, isn't it? I can get the part that's important, the running part, but the skid plate part won't be back on it right now. I'm going to have to work on a solution for that, which is probably going to be, I don't know what at this point. How about that? It's probably going to be, I don't know what at this point. But it is what it is, and it is where we is. You got to feel good about life, and I do. It's just a rock in the road, right? So we're gonna pop these loose. Maybe. Wow, how was the one so loose? And the other one felt like it had been put on by a Golilla. Golly, that's crazy. By a Golilla. How many of these guys are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, I think, maybe. I don't know. Am I counting right? Let's start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 13 of them. Installed by a Golilla. Oh, crazy. Man, I don't mind things being tight, but I'm sure there's a torque reading on these. And it's probably not, 150 foot-pounds. Why do you keep falling off, you socket? I'm gonna get you. All right, so our expensive Evercraft tool set from Napa, from the old Napa, from the nasty canasta auto parts store. Well, maybe that's just part of my workout. Maybe that's just, I worked out this morning. I thought I did well. But maybe what it really was just a prelude to play and pick up the socket off the ground. That's probably all it was, just a prelude. It wasn't really a workout, it was just a prelude. All right, back there you go. Now this is bound to be exciting. I don't see how anybody could not enjoy what's happening right now. Oh, what gives? I don't like the looks of that, so we're going to ease that back this way. But then you change your mind, and that's all right. Yep. And then you change your mind, but that's all right. I looked around and found true love. You know how it goes? Good gravy. Nasty canasta. Maybe I will take this one all the way loose. Nasty canasta. You remember that from Bugs Bunny? One of the villains. His name was Nasty Canasta. I used to love, I still do love Bugs Bunny. I don't get a chance to watch much Bugs. Too busy working on stuff, but I do love Bugs. Love me some Bugs Bunny. Watch this thing. If this happens the way it could happen, I might get a whole mouthful of transmission fluid, and you guys would see it all and probably love it. I wouldn't love it, but I bet you would. I would not love it. However, if somebody else got a whole mouthful, what is going on with this thing? Something ain't tight there. I might do something about that. That ain't good. Oh, yeah, that's way loose. Why'd you get so loose? How'd it happen? One on each side. Way loose. How'd that happen? I don't know. I don't know. Gee, kid, I don't know. These are in a spot where they might get knocked over. Let me put them back a little bit further. And let me consider my options here. As I prepare to make a mess. That's going to come out, and it's going to be like a river flowing in. It will be an ugly, ugly mess when that comes out of there. Well, I ran into another problem. I had to cut a bolt off for this skid plate.
Oh no.
Yeah, it wouldn't come loose.
No. So now you gotta get one of those.
So, well, not only that, it had a captive nut welded up in here.
Yeah.
And the captive nut was what came loose, so there's no way to attach another one.
So what do you do with that?
I'll have to go see if I can find they call it a nut zert, which puts a nut up in there.
Well, it's a good thing she made a decision to let you just keep the Jeep.
I mean, that would have been okay. You can drive it like that. She ain't going off-roading. It's just a skid plate for rocks and things, but so you could drive it like that. But I have to fix it at some point. I don't know. It's just like, you ever hear it's not easy being me?
Yes.
Ooh. 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 Yeah. Ooh. Here we go. I'm just going to have to ease this out.
Is that from where you pulled it to move it?
Yeah. So we're back at it. I had to take a little break. Man, I got hot. It's 90 degrees here in the shop. I don't have any air conditioning. It just isn't going to happen in this shop for me. Unless a bunch of you folks subscribe and make this a better situation for me. Now you can kind of see what's up. So this transmission pan and basically everything under here has been rust proofed from the transmission leak. One fantastic rust proofing technique. So we don't have to worry about that. We got that going for us. Everything looks good in that regard. No rust. Lots of transmission fluid, no rust. So I think I showed you guys how I fixed the transmission. Well, I'll call it fixing the transmission leak. I did something that hopefully will keep it from leaking like that. We're going to find out. I'm going to get it out of here and try to drive it a bit. Now, this is everything I do. There's no how-to manual. This is how Doc said to do it. No. I'll tell you what I do, and you can make up your own mind. Because everybody's got to make their own mistakes, you know. I just have years and years of mistakes behind me, and so you know, I know how to make them. When you have so many years of mistakes, you know how to make them. Operating in this particular case in Braille. There it is right there. Now this is why you don't ever want to just take all the pan bolts loose. You want to loosen them all, don't get me wrong. But these on the back side, they need to stay fairly snug. Loose, but not, you know, not hanging. Just loose enough to let everything fall. There we go. You see as I drop these a little bit more, here's what happens, see? So if you don't want transmission oil all over the place, don't do that. I'm kind of bummed about this captive nut. That's really bugging me. I'm going to have to fix that. I can drive it and test it and do everything I got to do with it, but I'm bummed. I'm bummed about that. That is not pleasant because that means it's just something, you know, it's like everything. Everything requires more time and effort than you think it ought to. And I understand that. Something that I think I could fix, and I thought, you know, I can drop that pan, I can drop that skid plate. Skid plate's got 4 volts, drop it, no problem. Drop the pan, 12 volts, no problem. But I didn't plan on having skid plate captive nut in the frame get out of control. And once it did, that kind of fouled up my schedule. Oh yeah. It's probably most of the new fluid that I put in there. This thing started leaking. Yeah, it's going now. It's not going to be back for a while. So let me pull this back off. That transmission oil is not going to be reinstalled. Go into the recycler. Exactly where I wanted that to go. Not a problem. All right. Looks pretty interesting. That doesn't look too shabby. And to change the filter isn't one of the worst jobs in the world. Yep. All right, so the way this works is on your filter you've got a fastener there and one there, and the filter has an O-ring goes up into the transmission. I'll see if I can show you what the O-ring goes right on this port right here. So this plugs in to the transmission, and those two fasteners hold it up. Let me grab the new one, I'll show you. All right, here's the new one. O-ring on there. Fastener goes here, fastener goes there. This plugs up in the transmission. And roughly this relationship right here. That's how it works. Got the new filter up. You know, I got a fastener here, one back here. Those are Torx fasteners. Not sure what size. Let me see. T25. It's just a T25. Now don't make them as tight as don't be a Golilla and put them on there as hard as you can. Snug them up. They're good. Snug them up. They're good. They ain't going nowhere. Now I want to show you something else though. Oh boy, you never work on anything without having some challenges. And yep, broke the bolt off. Come out here in the sun maybe. If you look at this transmission pan, there was some material in the bottom, but you'll notice that there's something else going on. I washed that out. There's some, you know, metallic material, clutch material, as you would expect. Look at this. You know what that is, don't you? That right there, my friends, is a hole in the pan. I don't know, it looked like it just had rusted. This was a raised place inside of the pan. I kind of rubbed that with my finger, and bam. Right there it is, the hole in the pan. So you can see the pan's not in the greatest shape anyway. Ergo, it's time for a new pan. So, like always, tons of things going on, and every time you start to work on something, there's something else that you hadn't planned on. So you can't get excited about it. You have to just say, hey, it's another rock that I have to pick up and move out of my way. That's what it is, you know. It's not going to be cheaper if somebody else does it for you, and I always question whether those people doing it for me are going to have the concern about it, the care about it, do it the way I'd want it done. So, you know, another day in Doc's life. That's where we are. Probably that's the end of the video for today because I got to find some more. I got to find a pan and get that on, and then I actually have to fix the bolt with the captive nut. I got to put a new captive nut in there. Probably a nut zert is what I'm going to try to do. And then I get to check and see if the repair that I made yesterday to the port in the top of the transmission actually holds. It's fun. But hey, what the heck? It's life. You got to deal with things like that, right? All right, I'll be back when I get an update here. Well, technically it's good afternoon. It's not good morning. Another day here in Doc's life. Oh, what a pretty day. Beautiful, really fall-like day. I'll show you. A fall-like day. I haven't accomplished a whole lot over the weekend. Still got my trailer parked here in front of the garage. I just didn't move it. It rained most of the weekend. I didn't have a lot of things going on. I need to put another coat of oil on it. Moved the Cobra out this morning. Moved the Mach 1 out this morning. And I made room so I could get in here and work on this Jeep. So the Jeep, an update here. Boy, that sun is brutal coming in there. Let me turn this around and just show you kind of how things worked. So the Jeep, of course, remember, I had to cut the bolt off here because the skid plate, that nut was just not going to come out of there. This one, the nut is still there. Everything looks like it's fine, no problems. I did put the new filter in, and I'm going to clean up the skid plate. I'm going to soak everything down with some brake cleaner here and get everything out whenever I get the new transmission pan up there. Which reminds me, I have a brand new transmission pan because if you remember, this pan, when I took it out, this pan had, you can see how much it rained. I've got water sitting in it. This pan had that hole right there. Now, obviously it didn't have that hole. You can see how much water is coming out of there. Let's see, there, look at that. Watch that water come out. It's just coming out, running out of there. it obviously wasn't like that when it was on the Jeep. So I think that it was compromised and it was just starting to seep. And I put some oil on the outside and I saw that corrosion on the inside of the pan. And when I wiped at it with my finger, it just dissolved right in my hand, and there we are. And we have a hole in the pan. So I got a new pan. Show you that. Here we go. Here's the new pan as compared to the old pan. Now, I have some, not concerns. This pan's really well made, it seems. Very nice. No problem. Looks to be the exact same thing. So that's the new pan. Here's my concern. I bought that pan off Amazon. I think I paid something like, well, less than $30. I think it was less than $25 for the new pan. Now it's made of Chinesium, obviously. Actually, it's not. It's made in Pakistan. So disregard the Chinesium statement. It's made in Pakistan now that I think back. But how in the world do we get something from China or Pakistan or Vietnam or wherever that we can't make in the U.S. and deliver in the U.S. for a similar price point? I know, you got taxes, you got environmental regulation, you got labor unions, all that. But the fact of the matter is, we collectively are putting ourselves out of business by doing that. And we collectively have to think about what in the world makes sense for us. If you talk to someone who is an economist, they'll tell you that you should just produce the items where it makes the most sense to produce the items from a labor standpoint. Okay, but then when you have no jobs, what do you do? And I don't believe in the universal basic income. I don't believe in that concept. I don't think you pay people not to work. To me, I think that's a recipe for disaster, and it's a race to the bottom. But we're awfully close to the bottom right now here in the U.S. if we aren't careful, because I just think work ethic and attention to detail have slipped so far. It's tough. You buy things made in the U.S. and they still aren't very good. Theoretically, they should be better if we're paying more and we think made in the U.S. would help. But I don't know. It's my rant. I'm over with the rant. I'm not really interested in ranting very much. But I do want to say we have created this problem collectively. And if we aren't careful, we're going to be in a position where nothing of substance is made here in the U.S. And we need to fight that. I hate to buy things made from other countries, but you don't have much of a choice if you're involved in automotives. So I got the new pan. It's going to go to work on that. This one has a drain plug in it. The old one didn't. The original did not. So I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to clean up the skid plate. Have to drill out the hole in the frame because I actually got something that'll help me fix that. I've got a riv nut set, and I've been wanting one of those anyway, so I've got it, and we'll put that to work, and I'll try to bring you along for that. So one of the things I like to do is to go ahead and put just not very much, very thin coating of silicone on the gaskets. Now, just basically to hold the gasket in place. So it's a nice rubber gasket. It came with the pan that I bought. I don't think it's a major issue. We'll see if I can just put enough of this on here. Again, I don't need very much. I just want a little bit. Just enough to kind of seal it up a little bit here. And again, it isn't really to seal it. I misspoke on that. It's to just hold it in place. To just hold it in place. I don't need it to seal. It's going to seal with the gasket. So I just want just a very thin amount on here. I'm not going to put any on the actual transmission itself. That way when I pull everything off the next time to change the fluid or whatever, I don't have to deal with anything on there. So I like that. I'll put a little bit here on the outside. And this is extremely thin. I don't know, in thousandths of an inch. I don't know. It would be just enough to look like it's on there. Yeah, somebody might disagree with this, and that's okay. I'm not saying this is a how-to. This is a how I did it. So if you don't want to do it, then fine. No hard feelings. Not a how-to, how I. I don't really like to have a lot of it on the inside. I just want to put enough there. I don't want it hanging over the edge and gumming up the works in the transmission. That's not what it's about. If you put a big bead of silicone there and it squeezes out, there are people that put this on. It's right stuff. And, you know, that might work fine. In fact, I know it works fine. It's not what I want to do, though. Here we go. So the right stuff works great. No trouble. No trouble, no trouble. But when it comes to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, well, I'd rather not have it on there. Inside the transmission. So whatever I'm doing here, when I put this gasket on, when I look at my gasket, what I want is the gasket to sit right on those openings for the bolts. I want it to sit right there, just like that. That's one less thing I'm concerned about, one less thing I'm worried about. I'm not fighting that. It's just right there, and it fits wonderfully, to be honest with you. No trouble at all. And what I will do is just kind of go back through, wipe a little of that off. Probably can't get much of it off. That's okay. A little in a couple of spots here. And you can see I didn't make a big mess of it. It's there. It's noticeable, but it's not huge, and it's not piled up and down inside the pan. So now what I need to do is to go over here, and I'll scrape the transmission itself. There's a little bit of gasket sealer or something on there. I'll pull that off. We'll be ready to put this in place. I also need to find my torque specs for this. Alrighty, here we go. I'm always trying different cameras and different things here to see what I like the best. This is on the earlier video, I think I had a remote microphone. This is my DJI Osmo with no remote microphone. And I like the Osmo a lot. So we'll see which footage I like the best, and go from there. And we'll take it from there. As Nick would say on Nick's Garage. If you never watched Nick's Garage, you ought to check it out. Great channel for muscle cars. And I love muscle cars, so there we go. Some brake cleaner, I think, and a rag or a paper towel. Pull this stuff off. Just about got it. Just about have it right there. Wipe down this tool and put it away. And like that. I think I'll get my brake cleaner and do that. Do you think I will take a look at torquing this pan or this filter down one more time? I know it doesn't take much torque, but good. That's nice and snug, no problems. Just wanted to be sure. Always want to double check my double check. You know, when this problem happened and I went and picked this Jeep up, I was looking at the right front and a lug nut was missing. Now, I'm the only person that's messed with the lug nut, so did I leave a lug nut loose? I'd like to think that I didn't, but the evidence suggests that I might have. I try to go around and just double torque everything, but hey, sometimes maybe what you think you're doing is not what you're really doing. And like I say, I'd like to think that I had it right, but probability is that I didn't. I think I'm gonna clean these pan bolts up really quickly. I should have done that already, and wipe this down. I'll be back in a minute. I'm always trying different cameras and different things here to see what I like the best. This is on the earlier video. I think I had a remote microphone. This is my DJI Osmo with no remote microphone. And I like the Osmo a lot. So we'll see which footage I like the best, and go from there. And we'll take it from there. As Nick would say on Nick's Garage. If you never watched Nick's Garage, you ought to check it out. Great channel for muscle cars. And I love muscle cars, so there we go. Some brake cleaner, I think, and a rag or a paper towel. Pull this stuff off. I just about got it. Just about have it right there. Wipe down this tool and put it away. And like that. I think I'll get my brake cleaner and do that. Do you think I will take a look at torquing this pan or this filter down one more time? I know it doesn't take much torque, but yeah, that's probably good. That's nice and snug, no problems. Just wanted to be sure. Always want to double check my double check. You know, when this problem happened and I went and picked this Jeep up, I was looking at the right front and a lug nut was missing. Now, I'm the only person that's messed with the lug nut, so did I leave a lug nut loose? I'd like to think that I didn't, but the evidence suggests that I might have. I try to go around and just double torque everything, but hey, sometimes maybe what you think you're doing is not what you're really doing. And like I say, I'd like to think that I had it right, but probability is that I didn't. I think I'm gonna clean these pan bolts up really quickly. I should have done that already, and wipe this down. I'll be back in a minute. So, gotta enlarge this hole. Let me see. That's what I'm gonna do. Right there. Nope. Not really. Let's see. Back there. Piece of metal.
How's it going?
All right. All right. Dirt in there. There's lots of dirt in there. Huh. There's got to be a way to do this. I'm thinking. A lot of junk in there. Truthfully, a lot of rust. Here we go. That's what I'm wanting. And that's what I had to cut off of the other one. It had broken loose. So there we go. Now let's see if we can get this to work. That needs to go up in there, and I do not have not bad, but it ain't going to be enough. A little bit more. That's beautiful right there. So 11/16 step drill bit, and this is a 1/2 inch riv nut. Let's see how this works. I don't know. Wish me luck. Oh boy, that's gonna be hard. I'm thinking. Golly, that's bad news right there. Whew. Good luck. Man. I think you gotta be a better man than I am to do that. Perhaps, I don't know. That's pretty tough. I'm hoping I can do this. If not, what am I going to do? Guess I could put a nut up in there Weld it. Let's see if I can get it. Boy, that's hard business right there. That is not easy at all. Boy. Gosh, I don't know. That ain't gonna work at all. So something ain't right about that. There we go. Golly, that's tough. It's hard, but there. And there's the finished product with the rib nut. I think that works pretty well. I hope I caught that with the other camera. We'll see how it works. Dr. Head.
You filming?
Well, it's
I'll
not,
just
but
stay
it's
out
not a
of
big
the way.
deal. You can come in here and look at your head.
Oh, wow.
So that can go right up in there fast.
Oh, wow. What was there that holds on?
Well, what happens is, see, this one's still got the original one. It's welded in there.
Yeah, I see that.
What
Okay.
happens is when you pull that thing,
Oh, that's that pan that covers the whole bottom so that it,
well, yeah, it's just a skid plate. But what happens is it's got a collapsible ring, and when you pull down on that, it's got threads that go up in there, and the tool pulls it down and makes that collapsible ring balloon out, and it goes on the other side of this.
so it's just as good
Frame
as
that
being welded
clamps it.
in. Yeah.
You can feel it.
Yeah, I don't see it's gonna
It
go
ain't going
anywhere.
to move.
That's awesome.
So when you put that in, it's in there.
Yeah, so that ought to hold the pan back on.
And then I use this step drill, and it just cut it right out to the right size.
Wow.
It's perfect.
So those tools paid off this week.
Well, that right there, rather than trying to weld something in, is a godsend.
No kidding.
Watch your head.
That's awesome.
That's done.
So now you just gotta put the gaskets in the pan and the
Yep.
stuff back on, and then we'll be ready to take it for a test drive.
Put it back in it. Start it up and see if it's leaking.
Okay. That's really cool.
This skid plate has a ton of built-up grease and oil on it. I'm going to clean that off and then try to get it ready to put back on. I'll repaint that. We should be good to go. I've already taken the light down, and I can see that the gaskets tried to push out a little bit. I've read that there's some problems with how they seal up. We'll see. I'm not going to put the skid plate back on. I'm going to fill it up with transmission fluid. We're going to take it for a spin. We'll find out what it does before I put everything else back together. But, you know, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And what's the other thing I want to say? Discretion is the better part of valor. No, that doesn't fit either. Well, you know what I mean. Let's be sure. Let's make sure that it's going to be all right before we start putting everything back together. Well, I started it, had it running, and it looks like everything looks pretty good from what I can tell, including, up to and including my fix up there. So it's time for a test drive. All right, so now we're going to take a drive here. She's got 170,000 miles on her, but she runs good. It's a good little Jeep. This 4-liter engine is a beast. So, here we go. See what we get here. we're just going to go down. Quick turn and come back. See, make sure everything shifts all right. We're not losing any fluid. I've looked up under it. We look good. Here we go. Good shift. Third. That's overdrive right there. Torque converter's locked up, and we are doing okay. We are doing okay, I think, right there. So that looks pretty good. Looks really good. Looks really good. Okay, gotta stop. Runs good. Running nice. We'll do a U-turn. Head back up the road. Here we go. Second. Third. No hesitation, no dragging. Overdrive right there. Alrighty, we're doing good. And that wraps up the video on the Jeep transmission. It's done well, no leaks, still ships well, everything's going great. So whatever was in that port in the transmission, I've found a solution. Probably not the optimal solution, but it's a solution, works great. And I'm going to keep that in my mind, and if I hear of anybody that has any questions about something like that, of course I would try to help out. Hope you've gotten something from the video, and thank you for sticking with it if you stuck with it this long. Check back with me later. I've got the F250 videos getting cranked up here shortly. I'm going to yank the 360 and the C6 transmission out of my F250 and kind of get started on that project. So more coming on this Doc's Life. Until I see you again, endeavor to persevere.